Hello and welcome back to A Curtain Call. I forgot what I was supposed to say. I'm Finn.
And I'm Max.
And today we will be discussing Ride the Cyclone. So to begin, we will talk about its history.
Again, like most of these, not very much history, but lyrics and book were written by Jacob Richmond and Brooke Maxwell.
And it is the second installment in Richmond's Uranium Teen Scream trilogy, although despite the fact that this premiered in 2009, the third act of the trilogy still has not been released. Awards.
It was nominated for a total of 34 awards.
Wow. But almost all of them were different categories, so there's a lot to go through. 2 Summer Works Awards, 3 Toronto Theatre Critics Award, 1 Dora Mavor-Moore Award,
5 Saskatoon and Area Theatre Awards, 2 Jeff Awards, 1 Drama League Award, 1 Joe A. Calloway Award,
5 Lucille Lortel Awards, 1 Henry Hughes Design Award, 4 Broadway World Awards,
8 Susie Bass Awards, and 1 Gypsy Rose Lead Award.
And then the ones that they won were the Summer Works Award as a prize for production, the Now Magazine Audience Choice Award,
Toronto Theatre Critics Awards, Best New Musical, Best Director of a Musical, and Best Supporting Actor in a Musical. I can speak English.
Yes, you can. And they also won the Dora Mavor-Moore Award for Outstanding Touring Production.
For the Saskatoon and Area Theatre Awards, Achievement in Production and Achievement in Ensemble Performance.
So many awards. They won the Jeff Award for Musical Director, the Joe A. Calloway Award for Excellence in Choreography, and finally, about 1 million Susie Bass Awards, which you can tell them.
The Susie Bass Awards, so Outstanding Production, Outstanding Acting Ensemble, Outstanding Direction, Outstanding Lighting Design, Outstanding Sound Design, and Outstanding Projection Design.
6 awards, yay! And they're all outstanding.
Outstanding.
Now, before we begin talking about the plot of the musical, we would like to discuss a few content warnings. There are multiple mentions and references regarding death, which is pretty obvious once we begin the plot, alcohol, sexual acts, and prostitution. Nothing outright shown other than the death, kind of, but references.
They sing about
and,
it.
And, we're not showing anything because we are a podcast.
Yes. No pictures for you.
No pictures. Plot, yay!
Yay. So, for the plot, we start off, being shown this mechanical fortune teller automaton thing called the Amazing Karnak, and he introduces himself as the show's narrator.
He can predict the exact moment of a person's death, and I think the way they die, too. Yeah. Because he's like, and I'm going to die because a rat's going to chew my cords or whatever. And we're like, okay. And he's a pop star or whatever. Punk? Rat? The rat, he plays guitar. It's awesome. But he's in family fun novelty mode, meaning that he can only repeat vague predictions and fairground advertising. Your lucky number is 7. Stuff like that.
Unfortunately, he cannot warn the main 5 teenagers. They're all from Uranium City, and after their deaths, he summons their spirits for...
He's just cool like that, because he can bring one person back to life. Don't ask how, it's not explained.
Only one.
Only one, but he brings them back, and he's like, hey, teenagers.
Singing.
Sorry I didn't warn you about your death. Sing for me.
Sing for me.
He introduces the audience to the St. Cassian Chamber Choir and recounts their deaths on the Cyclone, a malfunctioning roller coaster.
During the crash, the teens lament their lives in Uranium City. It was once a boom town that declined drastically with the closure of its uranium mines.
Hence the name of the song Uranium and Uranium, yeah.
Woo.
City, yep. The 5 teenagers arrive in Karnak's limbo and are introduced, each given a forced catchphrase to quickly convey their personalities to the audience. It's really funny. Democracy rocks. She does that. It's really fun.
Karnak reveals that the teens are being placed into a game of life and death where they must compete for their chance to return because, again, he can only revive one of them.
Yes. And then the 6th victim, because they kept saying there was 5 teenagers, but no, there's 6. A mystery contestant dubbed Jane Doe because she lost her head in an accident, so they have no clue who she is. And no one ever came to claim her body, and she's a whole mystery, and it's a whole shebang, and she's unknown to everybody, and that's like her whole character. It is suggested that Jane has replaced her head with that of a doll, whose body she carries around with her. She carries around a headless doll, and her entrance frightens other choir members, but Karnak proceeds undisturbed and begins the competition, because Karnak is super smart, and he also is unbothered by everything.
truly an unbothered king.
Yes, we love him, but we also don't.
So, to introduce each member of the choir, Karnak narrates a bumper, underscored by variations of his theme song, basically.
Theme song.
Each segment kind of portrays a brief retelling of each choir member's life. And key figures are portrayed by the other students while each person sings.
And the bumpers lead to an extended monologue that leads into each individual character's song. The first contestant, Ocean O'Connell Rosenberg, a perfectionist overachiever. As a child of far left center humanist, so hippies, Ocean always felt like the self-proclaimed white sheep of the family. She tells Karnak that she's seen enough reality TV to know what he wants her to do. I got their names and pronouns right, totally. And then she sings a little song themed around how great she is and how she's better than all the other teenagers that are there, including calling Jane Doe a freaky monster.
What the world needs.
Keep on that. Yeah. But then Karnak reveals that the choice of who lives will be made by a group consensus. So Ocean insulting all of her competitors. Not a good idea.
The next contestant is Noel Gruber, the only gay boy in this small town, and he dreams of being a cold-hearted French prostitute.
I love him.
Instead, he was stuck working at Taco Bell.
Yes, he sings a song about his desire to live the tragic, loveless life of his alter ego, Monique Garbeau, who dies of typhoid flu at the end of the song. And I'm not going to say the name of the song because it has a curse word in it. The song has a lot of curse words in it.
That effed
As
up girl.
Ocean, effed up, yeah. Well, it's actually, in the school version, it's that messed up girl. Or he also sings in French a lot in the school version because it's an easy way to censor things.
True.
But then Ocean is very annoyed at the curse words in his song and expresses annoyance that his song did not have a moral.
Despite Karnak's objection, she insists that every story has a lesson and gets her friend Constance to perform an anti-drug improv PSA with her.
This is actually something that is cut from many versions of the show, so depending on what you watch, you might not see their little improv bits, which aren't actually improv like the actual show, it's scripted. But the characters, it's also scripted because they practice all of their improv beforehand because they don't understand the purpose of improv.
The third contestant is Misha Buczynski.
Misha, we love him.
Yes.
I love all of them.
He is a Ukrainian adoptee who immigrated after his mother dying from radiation poisoning while on a Chernobyl disaster cleanup crew, put him up for adoption and lied about his age.
Said he was like 2 or 3. When he reached Canada, 2, his adoptive parents were expecting a recently potty-trained 2-year-old, but instead received a violent teenage boy with a drinking problem. To cope with isolating treatment that he received from his adoptive parents, he turned to self-aggrandizing, commercialized hip-hop, posting his own original raps to YouTube.
His song begins as a gangsta rap track that heavily relies on autotune before transitioning into a passionate Ukrainian love ballad to his online fiancée, whom he met through his YouTube comment section, Talia. Talia is the fiancée, I think.
Talia is the fiancée and also the name of the song. Technically, if you go on Spotify, they are split into 2 songs because there's like a little talking in between, but they're also kind of one song. It's confusing. Noel, whose own performance was previously supported by Misha, comforts them, and they're best friends, and also nothing else.
Definitely.
Nothing canon. Nothing canon.
Never explicitly stated. The fourth contestant is Ricky Potts, a socially awkward mute boy with a complex fantasy life. Although he's not always mute in different versions, he usually just has some kind of disability, whether that be walking.
Well, the thing is, he's mute, and then when he dies, they're like, you can talk now.
True.
The original script indicates that Ricky has a movement disability caused by degenerative illness, but speaks and, depending on the interpretation, moves without impairment in the afterlife. But as I said, sometimes he's played by a disabled actor, so the disabled actor uses their disability aids.
Otherwise, magic, you're not disabled anymore.
Yes, because it's not a disabled actor. And the 2023 revision of the licensed script altered his backstory, replacing his physical disability with simply muteness, just because it's easier to convey.
The original muteness is a result of trauma, having witnessed his now Pentecostal preacher father being killed by their pet viper Jojo.
Most versions don't include that, though. And to combat his loneliness, Ricky retreats into detailed science fiction fantasies based on his childhood spent with 14 cats. It gets really weird. Imagining himself as the intergalactic savior of a race of sentient, anthropomorphic, sexy cat woman from
Everyone's
a distant
dream.
planet. Yeah. He literally has a line in the show, "It gets weird now." It was already weird before that, but now he's in a cat's-style cat costume.
He gets freaky.
Yes, and, sorry, I didn't expect you to say that. In most versions, he concedes his chance of being resurrected because he's like, nah, I'm chill. I like it better in the afterlife. Although it was removed in later versions for some reason. All the versions I've ever watched, he concedes, and I like it that way. Next up, Jane Doe.
Yay!
The mystery.
Rather than singing about hopes and dreams and fantasies and whatever, Jane Doe sings about her despair. Her headless body was found in the wreckage, and though she was presumed to be a member of the choir because of her uniform, her body went unclaimed and her identity remained unknown following the stress-induced death of their choir director later that same day.
So even the spirit of her in the afterlife has no memory of who she was. And after her song, and hearing of Jane's despair, the choir rallies together and holds a birthday party for her, featuring a rewritten birthday song, sharing a tender moment with each other.
Ricky and Jane bond because Ricky gives her one of the names he had been saving up in life, and
Why does that?
and Noel and Misha connect over seeing each other as they want to be seen.
And then Ocean and Constance finally come to a head. Because as we mentioned before, they're kind of friends, but like, it's clear Ocean is very controlling and not a good relationship, a friendship for them, not relationship. Ocean, still desperate to return to life, hurts Constance deeply in her own self-obsession. And Constance, who's fed up with being Ocean's sidekick, finally stands up for herself by punching Ocean in the boob. She reveals that just 3 hours prior to the accident, she lost her virginity to a 32-year-old carny in a porta potty. Don't do that.
Don't be like Constance.
Don't get groomed. Because that's lucky what that was, because she's a child. Not cool.
She says that she did it to just get it out of the way. However, she backtracks and reveals that it was more an action of self-loathing over that. And she was frustrated with her image as the nicest girl in town. She talks about her family's pride for having worked in Uranium City since they opened the mines, and that though she agreed with them at first, high school made her think it was lame to feel that way.
Because kids be mean. And feeling guilt for how she resented her parents in life, she recalls the moment the coaster derailed and how all her anger and misconceptions had dropped away as they flew through the air. She shares how she finally learned to appreciate every small moment in her life and love her small town. And she laments that it took a horrible accident for her to realize how wonderful everything is. And she has a whole song about how there's nothing wrong with being the nicest girl in town. And yes, that is a lyric straight from the song, because I didn't know how else to phrase it.
Truly. And at the end of the song, Ocean apologizes to Constance as if seeing her friend for the first time, which is you're not a good person, Ocean.
At last, it is time for the final vote. And Karnak changes the rules, because of course he does. He's silly like that. Also, he is throughout the whole show, and he's yapping, but he wasn't important enough to the plot for us to mention him. And he tells Ocean that she gets to decide, and she's like, bruh. She has a crisis of conscience and is like, I can't vote for myself. It'd be selfish. And she's like, Jane, you don't have a memory of your life. We all have a life, and we lived it, but you don't have one. You deserve to live. And she's like, yay.
Ocean says that while the teenagers, they all died young, they at least, had a life.
Yeah.
Like Finn said. And she admits that she would gladly take her 17 years over nothing, which Jane, she has no memories. She has nothing.
Yes.
And
then it is revealed, Karnak reveals that her name, once she's resurrected, her name was Penny Lamb, which, fun fact, is actually a character in the first play of the previously mentioned trilogy, Legoland. Whether she returns to life as Penny or starts a new life is left ambiguous, but a compilation of home movies of her new life from youth to old age is played, and it's really sad, and I always cry when I watch that song on YouTube, and sometimes the videos are from the actual actress's childhood, and then they have it as her mom when she's supposed to grow older, and it's so cute!
Mm-hmm. It probably just depends on if they can actually find those videos of the actress.
Because the most recent one I watched, it was the actual actress And it was videos and photos of her as a little girl, and it was so sad. And then Karnak dies because, as we mentioned, the little rat, non-aware rat, Wires, kills him. And Karnak, it kills Karnak before he can give his final piece of insight. And as he dies, he says the same bare-ground advertising that he told the teens before they rode the Cyclone. Your lucky number is 7. You will soar to great heights. Be sure to ride the Cyclone.
Do not ride the Cyclone. And somewhere outside of Limbo, the remaining teens unite and sing an uplifting song.
And the voice of Jane Doe echoes her opening song. I'm not going to read all that, but it's a really sweet moment. And the teens travel towards whatever comes next. And this is also the part where I cry a lot. That's it. Yay, bye!
Let's see it.